Hi everyone, it's Alyssa from Collins Hope, and we have some special guests today to talk. You've seen all these broadcasts that we've done, and we try to share water safety topics and drowning prevention topics that can reach families wherever they are to help them be safer around water in this work of drowning prevention that we do. And today our guests are Kathy Segal and Lily Grace, and I wanted thank you guys for being here. And I wanted to give an opportunity for you to share your story and Lily Grace's story. And, oftentimes in the drowning prevention world, we hear so many stories of the fatal drownings that occur. So in Colin's case, Colin was a fatal drowning, but what we don't hear a lot of the time are the non-fatal drowning stories, the survivors, the families and the children who've been impacted by a drowning and then are still living with that as life goes on. And so I wanted to just invite you guys on, and I'm just going to turn it over to you, Kathy, for you to share your story, and then we'll just have a conversation.
Sure. I'm Kathy. Thank you for having us. This is my sweet daughter. She's our youngest. This is Lily. Lily, can you say hi? Or can you
Hi, Lily.
I
think I saw a smile.
Yes. Oh, her hairband's coming off, but we'll do what we can. Lily was a very healthy, very active 15-month-old daughter. And on December 2nd, 2017, we were at my family's house celebrating a late Thanksgiving. And all day long, we were conscientious of the pool. We knew she was attracted to it. In fact, one time during the day, I needed to run inside, and I told my sister, "Hey, will you watch Lily? By the way, she keeps going towards the pool." And so, I came back out, and Christy was like, "Yeah, she did." So Lily's drowning accident happened actually at 8:00 at night. We had been inside for 3 hours because it gets dark at like 5. And all of a sudden, just a couple minutes before, Lily was sitting on my lap eating an orange. And then we don't know how she got out, but somehow she got out. And from the time we noticed she was missing and checked all the rooms in the house, because of course she's somewhere inside, maybe playing with the big kids, we found her in the pool. We don't know how long she was in the pool, but my parents live out in the country, and so it was 30 minutes before an ambulance was able to get there. Thankfully, by the grace of God, my sister's a doctor, her husband's a paramedic, my cousin was there who's a nurse practitioner, and those three were teaming up doing CPR on Lily for that 30 minutes. When the paramedics arrived, they were able to get a pulse back by giving her an IO, so epinephrine in her shin bone. And then a few minutes later, Starflight arrived, actually landed in my parents' field. My cousin's husband is a pilot in the Navy, and he marked off an area and used a spotlight to get him down. And Lily and I took the 11-minute ride to Dell Children's Hospital. When she arrived, it was not good. She didn't have the gag reflex. Her pH level was 6.6, which apparently below 7 is non-sustainable for life, from what we have been told. And the doctor just said, "This is not looking good for life." My husband was actually still in Dallas. He was on the football coaching staff at SMU at the time, and they had practice. So he drove down with a couple pastors from our church. And when he got there, Lily woke up and started kind of kicking around. And so at that point, they sedated her. But the doctor then came in and said, "Okay, this is totally different. This is not what I expected." And, there's just been miracle after miracle with Lily. First, her waking up, then her MRI being better than the doctors thought. then her second MRI, they couldn't explain why that was better than the first MRI. And so basically she just keeps surpassing what doctors said or are saying. Now, we have never actually heard a doctor say she will never be able to do this, which is not the case with many non-fatal drowning survivors. But we've always heard, let's see what she can do. And she's just our miracle. Honestly, the Lord saved her that day. I mean, if you go for 30 minutes without a pulse, you are dead. And she's alive now. So.
Well, I will say that I think it was that night when the Lily's accident, I mean, weirdly, because of this space that I work in, and I've been working in it for a decade, I get messages from random places and things, and I heard of Lily's accident, and I don't remember if it was the next morning, but then I began following, I've been following her CaringBridge and following her journey, and just sort of silently being here in the background watching this and praying and sending love and all of that. And because these are I can't even imagine for you and your entire family, because this is not something that just impacts Lily or just you and your husband. I mean, you have other children, you have it impacts so many things on so many different levels. And so I love to hear I've loved watching the little successes, because you guys share in, all the various things the treatments that you've tried, the places you've gone. I want you to talk a little bit about that, because some of the things that I think people don't know when they think of what happens after a drowning and a person survives is like all the things that you've tried, because I know you've gone out of the country and you've gone to Louisiana and I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that, because I think it's important for people to know.
Sure. So after Lily's accident, we spent 30 days at Dell Children's Hospital in the PICU, and then, they graduate you to the different levels. We were then transferred to a rehab hospital here in Dallas, where we stayed until March, I guess. And when we were in there, we learned about alternate treatments. And learned about specifically hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT. So we left there and went to New Orleans, where a doctor that is renowned for treating pediatric drowning cases actually is. And we decided, if we're going to do it, we're going to go to the guy that knows these cases. So we spent 2 months in New Orleans with Lily, where we'd go into this hyperbaric chamber at a low pressure for about an hour a day, 5 days a week. And we saw great things happen in that time while we were there. We have since purchased a hyperbaric chamber for our home, and every couple months we continue to do another 40 dives is what they call it, another basically 2 months. And each time we see little things that keep emerging. We see smiles, we see her moving differently, sitting up better. So that has been a blessing. While we were in New Orleans, I was also able to meet other parents of babies who had drowned and were on the same path as us, and just connecting with them and being able to share our experiences, to not only the hurt and pain, but hey, have you tried this? And so we're able to just work through this this journey together. So we've also gone to Panama twice to do stem cells for Lily. We have, hey Emma, I can't talk right now, sissy. No. Nope. And we've gone to Panama twiase. We're looking into doing another round of stem cells, but COVID has kind of slowed everything down. There's other therapies. One's called ABM, which is the Anat Danielle method. and MNRI, both of which is Moscatova neurosensory motor reflex integration. So
Wow.
both of those therapies work to kind of rewire the brain, and are focusing on, the reason Lily is not walking right now is not because her legs are broken. It's because the pathways in her brain are hurt and need to be rewired, so we have found these alternative treatments to help. Even we do the traditional PTOT speech also, but we have found them to be very beneficial for Lily as well. And all those alternative treatments are not paid for by insurance. So we have been very blessed with, go ask Eli to help you, please, with people donating money to Lily.
Well, and so let's transition into that, because you guys are having a race, and I know I'm registered, and I think I registered for the 10K, but now I want to register for the Miles of Smiles, so I can just run whatever I want. But I want to give you a chance to talk about that and a chance to invite people to participate in that, because all the things that you were talking about, it's incredibly interesting to learn how many opportunities and therapies and alternative things are out there, that I'm so glad to hear that with other families too, to help find those things. Because I think if you don't have the resources to advocate for yourself or for Lily or for finding those things out, there's so many families that probably have no idea that any of those exist. And then I can't even imagine how much all of that costs from a financial thing. So hopefully the race is going to raise some money. So talk about that for a little bit so we can get people signed up.
Yeah, so we are doing the Race for Lily Grace on October 3rd, and it's a virtual run. And so basically, virtual just means you do it anywhere you want, whatever time on that day you want, with whoever you want. So we're not going to have like a one big race where we all gather together. People have been forming little teams where they're going to run, like they've got 10 people running in Cedar Park or in Colorado, or we've got people all over the country running. And so you can go to runsignup.com and search for the Race for Lily Grace. And there are different options. You mentioned there's a 5K, a 10K, a Miles for Lily Smiles. There's a kids fun run. And so all of that money is going directly to Lily's medical expenses to get us more stem cells. Our goal is to do 2 more rounds of stem cells again this year. You can do it every 6 months. In October, we are going to Orlando, Florida to do an MNRI, what they call a conference, which is just a big group of therapy. Lily will get, I think, 5 or 6 hours of therapy a day.
Wow.
And Dr. Moscatova has actually created a non-fatal drowning protocol. So this is the non-fatal drowning conference. So all these people that we've met over the last few years, a lot of them come together, and it's a sweet time for the parents to get together, but also a great therapy for the kids.
That's amazing. Well, I would love to figure out, and we've talked about this when we talked a couple of weeks ago about connecting. We were part of the Families United to Prevent Drowning, and I would love to help connect some of the families that we work with some of the families that you know about, so that we can just keep having a louder voice, both for the fatal drownings, but the non-fatal drowning survivors and the families, because everyone's living with, the stories are different and the reality of life is different, but having that support, I think, sounds like is an amazing thing. So I know you have a lot going on there with homeschool happening and things like that. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I really do want to encourage people to sign up for the Race for Lily Grace. And, thank you for sharing your story, because it takes a lot of courage to be able to be out there talking about this. And I know that you guys, I'm hoping that we can work together in the future and just share Colin's story and Lily's story and save lives and prevent other families from having to go through what your family has had to go through, what Colin's family has had to go through, because sharing the stories is really what's going to help make the difference. So I know I'll be out there running. Now I want to figure out how to change mine, and I'll come up with some big run, but I'll do my I like the smiles, the miles for Lily's smiles.
Great.
Concept.
Well, you don't even have to change it officially. You can just do
Okay,
whatever
perfect.
you want to do.
I'll just do it. All right. I'll make it up along the way. But thank you, Kathy, for being here, and thank you, Lily. Maybe we can get a little smile.
Can you smile for us? I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Awesome. All right. Well, much love to you guys, and peace, and I'll see you out there on the run virtually, and I look forward to working with you guys to reach more and more families.
Yes. Thank you, Alyssa.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.